Can you imagine being a 3-year-old child and having to defend yourself without a lawyer in an immigration court? 14 Arizona children don't have to imagine that reality. They're living it. Hi, welcome to In the Desert with Sahara, where we break down Arizona politics with me, Sahara. Last week, we traveled down to the Pima County Immigration Court in Tucson, where 17 children went in front of Judge Irene C. Feldman regarding their immigration case. 3 of those children were represented by the Florence Project. The other 14 had to fend for themselves. It's not that the Florence Project doesn't want to help them. It's that the Trump administration cut their funding in March, and they've severely limited operations since. Let me tell you about some of the children in the courthouse. Lucy, a 3-year-old girl in a purple dress and beaded bracelets, was called to the stand by the judge. She had 2 stuffed animals in hand and was sucking on her thumb, as kids do. She spoke limited English and did not have legal representation. A lawyer from the Florence Project accompanied the child to the stand to give some information to the judge, but told the judge that she was not her lawyer, and that the Florence Project didn't have the funding to represent her. The case was postponed, and the girl will have to attend trial on November 24th. It's unclear if or how she will obtain legal representation. Sergio, a 15-year-old boy from Honduras, told the judge through a Spanish interpreter that he has been struggling to find legal counsel. At his last court hearing, the judge granted him additional time to find a lawyer, but he said he hasn't been able to yet. When the judge asked Sergio if he was afraid of returning to Honduras, he said yes, prompting Megan McLean, a lawyer with the Department of Homeland Security, to give him an asylum packet to complete in hopes of avoiding removal. The judge told the boy through an interpreter, "It's like homework from school. It's a project you can do to build your immigration case." You might be wondering, why are they struggling to find legal representation? Well, there are a few reasons. For one, it's hard. Imagine coming to a new country in search of a better life and then getting detained by immigration officials. These children are placed in the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement and placed in a shelter, or reunited with a sponsor if they have one. From there, they need to find legal counsel. The problem? They don't know who to call. They don't have the money for a lawyer, and many of them do not speak English. That's why the judge can grant them additional time, but they still struggle because they're kids navigating a new country. They don't always understand the legal system. Another theme that often comes up is a sense of distrust. Naomi, a 17-year-old girl in pink bracelets, was asked by the judge for the contact information of her father, whom she said is a U.S. citizen, so they could contact him and potentially find a sponsor for her. She replied in Spanish, "As of now, I'm not wanting to give my dad's number." Disclosing personal information is often scary for these children. Brittany, a 10-year-old girl representing herself, walked to the stand wearing a black bow in her hair and a leopard print skirt. When the judge asked if her mother had legal status in the U.S., Brittany replied, "I don't want to answer until I have an attorney." The judge set her next trial date to November 24th to give her and her 15-year-old brother, Brian, time to find legal counsel. Most of the minors were granted additional time to obtain legal counsel. But for many of them, if they do not have legal representation by their updated court dates set for the end of the year, they will need to continue representing themselves and try to prove to the U.S. government that they should not be deported. You can read more at the link in our bio.